What's up, guys? I am Professor New School Cool, and today we're going to be breaking down the Reflections comic that Overwatch just released. We're going to be talking about the biggest reveal, the one that I think honestly is the most important, and it's that this guy fucks. Let's be honest, Torbjorn laying that pipe like you wouldn't believe. Those turrets aren't the only thing he hammers. Alright, that's enough. Anyway, we're going to go over the comic, and obviously we're going to break down each section, and we're going to figure out what I think some of the big reveals are. Alright. So, first we have, on this page, we see a little bit of cameo. We've got May here. I'm going to zoom in, because this one's pretty hard to see. We got May here as the weather girl. We've got Zarya fighting Omnyx in Russia. We have Diva doing like holiday elf things, which I think is really funny because everyone calls Diva a fucking gremlin, and now she's an elf. Winston sitting alone with Athena, as usual, wondering where Tracer is. Tracer zooming around London, trying to find something before they see the clock tower from King's Row, so that's cool. I'm going to zoom back out again so we get the full comic. Running around, stopping thieves, doing typical Tracer things. Also, her watch is badass, and I really freaking want one. So if my wife is watching this video, you know what I want for the holidays. I want that watch. Alright, so we have Tracer running up to the store, and this pompous butler dude closing the door on her face, and like, let's be honest, who's gonna close a door on Tracer? Who is considered a hero? I mean, some people may not consider her a hero, if they hate Omnyx, which I guess in King's Row that makes a lot of sense because a lot of those people hate the Omnyx, and Tracer tried to save Mondada, so it's, you know, maybe there's a little bit of contention there. Flying through the shop, but even this, she gets it first, but she feels so bad using her abilities that she gives it to this guy, and then we get this, which everyone's been clamoring on the Reddit post for a Zenyatta Butler skin. That's really cool. I'm not gonna lie. The Zenyatta Butler looks really cool. Sad Tracer is sad. You know, her suit's not working. She's got to take. You see Lucio, little cameo right there for Lucio. And then Tracer's got to take the tube, or the subway, or the metro, or whatever the hell it is that you call it. The train that goes underground. And then she gets the surprise gift. And this is honestly the big reveal right here. Tracer, the gift she ends up giving it to her girlfriend. The big reveal being that the LGBT character that Overwatch was hinting at, that Blizzard was hinting at, was Tracer. Or is Tracer. Another cool thing too is you see her without the her like that piece on. I forget. It's like a chronal or temporal, I don't know, some fancy word. The thing that makes her go fast, a la Tony Stark, is chilling in the corner and powering their little Christmas tree, which I think is adorable. It also means that she can take it off for short periods of time without having temporal shift issues. So perhaps things that have strong emotional ties, she's able to take off the piece, and she's able to remain, you know, stuck in that time period because of the strong ties. So maybe it's her emotions that keep her in check. I feel like that would be like a classic comic book thing right there. I feel like that'd be a good thing. That would make sense to me. That seems to be what it's hinting at, is that she's able to take it off at home, and the reason she's able to take it off at home is obviously because there's some great love there. Honestly, beautifully done. It's absolutely tender. The one critique I have is how far spread apart her pinky and her finger is, but that's just an art critique. It has absolutely nothing to do with the relationship, which I'm super stoked about. And everyone who was shipping Widowmaker and Tracer, I'm sorry, this isn't what you wanted, but it's still beautiful nonetheless. Alright, and Winston's all sad because he's got no family and no friends because Tracer and Emily are late. They're supposed to be going to meet him, and he's all on his lonesome, and now he's wondering, you know, where everyone is, how everyone's doing. And we get to see this huge breakdown right here. We're going to zoom in panel by panel and do a breakdown. So first we have Genji. You get to see a little bit more of his face here, and you can tell obviously that it's like necrotic skin, which you could see from the cinematic, the Two Dragons cinematic. But the big thing, obviously, to hint at is the letter he's writing. With this matches up and correlates with... Son of a bitch. This correlates with... bottom right. Son of a bitch. Bottom right. Mercy with the letter in the quill there. So there's maybe a relationship hint. Maybe it's just a friendly, hey, I'm here at the holidays and I'm alive because of you, thanks. Or maybe it's a, hey, you know what? I kind of love you. Either way, I think that's pretty neat. Next we have this one here. Son of a bitch, I did it again. Alright, next we have the Farah with this guy. Now, looking at this image, some people have suggested that it's a husband or a boyfriend or a romantic partner. Other people, which I think is more accurate, that that's her father. Because if you look at her face, it's less romantic interest. And I think with the art style, she just seems vaguely interested in what he's saying. You've got the gray hair here. Not saying that young people can't date people with gray hair. I just think it's more likely that that's her father, because that's one of the things that they've been hinting at a lot. But that also subsequently puts a damper on the whole Reinhardt and Anna being her father and mother. Well, we know Anna's her mother, so that doesn't put a damper on that. But Reinhardt being the dad and Anna and Reinhardt being a thing. And I did it a third time. I'm just going to do this every damn time, apparently. You've got Roadhog and Junkrat, the two friends that can't stand each other but put their differences aside to blow some stuff up for the holidays. I know Roadhog's starting to get sick of Junkrat shenanigans, but at least here they're having a little bit of fun. I don't know at whose expense, so I don't know if I can really get behind this fun, but, you know, friends will be friends, and murderous psychopaths will be murderous psychopaths. Alright, here, this is the joke from the beginning that Torbjorn fucks. You see Torbjorn as Santa Claus. On his lap is his presumed wife. Now, the question I have is, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stockings, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people and a cat. Who doesn't put a stocking out for their cat? I always put out stockings for the cat. Anyway, you've got 9 people here aside from Reinhardt. So now we have to assume that some of these are Torbjorn's kids, but the question that I have is, are any of these actually Reinhardt's kids? Because you only see the 6 stockings here. And you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 people. Now, I think, honestly, here, based on the hip pack, she might not be one of the kids. She looks a little bit older, so she might not be one of Torbjorn or Reinhardt's kids. But you've got kids with different hair colors. You've got red hair. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 people with the red hair there. And you've got 1, 2, 3 blonde people. Now, obviously, I know if this is Torbjorn's wife, she's blonde. Maybe they didn't put up enough stockings. Maybe they have a second fireplace because they're rich. I mean, they're obviously rich enough to have this many kids. So, and he's an engineering genius. So maybe, just maybe, there is enough space in this house for another fireplace with more stockings. But I think that some of these kids are Torbjorn's and some of them might be Reinhardt's. It's possible. I'm not going to rule anything out. But if it turns out that that's the case, that'd be really interesting. You also see... I saw someone pointed this out on the internet, so I'm not going to take claim on it on my own. Son of a bitch. But you see Anna looking down, looking real sad. Looking down towards where Reinhardt is, and Reinhardt's face looking real sad. Someone did point this out. Maybe, you know, that doesn't quite put the kibosh on their relationship. I mean, he may not be the father of Farah, but... that doesn't necessarily mean that the relationship wasn't there. So I think that's an important bit too. But obviously Soldier and Anna kind of on their own, all sad because they've run away. Soldier's supposed to be dead. Anna ran away and is supposed to be dead. So they're kind of, they can't really live a normal life. So I guess it's kind of cute that they're hanging out together. Someone's got to hang out with them. This picture here, this frame, this is the one that gets me in the feels the most. You see Reaper creeping in the background, and you've got this here. Now this appears to be a family unit. One would assume. Why is Reaper creeping on this family? Well, I've seen some theories that state that maybe that's his wife, and maybe that's their son, and maybe that's like a stepdad kind of figure. I think it could also be, you know, maybe that's his brother and his sister-in-law and his nephew. But I do think that it's some kind of family. I don't think Reaper's just creeping maliciously during the holidays. He does that for all the other days of the year. I think in this instance, he's looking at someone who's related to him. So that's interesting. You get to see a little bit of that dynamic, a little more humanizing element to Reaper, which we've only ever seen him blunder around like a doofus and be an edgelord who listens to Avenged Sevenfold, wears black, and hates everybody. Alright, we've got a passed out McCree, a very old bartender, and Sombra all hanging out at a bar. Now, this suggests a couple different things. It could be that Sombra was invisible and waiting for McCree to drink himself to sleep, and then she's just keeping an eye on him for Reaper and Blackwatch. But, and I think this is more likely, is the fact that both of them have, if we see in the cinematics, Sombra kind of acts out on her own, doesn't necessarily listen to what Reaper has to say, so perhaps she's having second thoughts, and she's spending time with the only other person to have second thoughts that we know of. And then we see here, down the bottom, we have Widowmaker visiting the grave of what looks like Gerard Lacroix, which would be her husband that she killed after being brainwashed. So that's pretty sad, and you can understand why Widowmaker is a little edgy. And then last and certainly not least, we have art student Hanzo over here with the shaved side panel, the ear piercing, and the man bun, looking at cake, of all things. I don't know that this actually reveals much of anything. I could be wrong, and this could be the most important panel in the entire piece, and I can look like a freaking idiot, which I already do, so it's not that bad. But I don't really understand this one too much. You just see Hanzo kind of looking at a cake. I mean, if that's how he's spending his holidays among people instead of alone, because you see some people in the background. There's a kid there who's the only distinct person in the entire portrait. I guess these are just kind of like shadows, and then you've got Hanzo here, and then this kid. I don't know if this kid has any relevance. It could be sneaky that, maybe Hanzo has a kid that we don't know about. The only thing we've ever seen about Hanzo is in regards to Genji. And then obviously, last, we have Mercy doing work somewhere. Obviously, this is like a medical tent, so it's somewhere where there's a medical need, medical aid, and getting that letter from Genji, which I think is kind of cute. And then on the last page here, it looks like Winston's all alone with Athena. Athena initiates the holiday protocol, which I think is adorable. Puts on a little Santa hat, and it starts snowing. And gets a little chuckle out of Winston, which is great, seeing that he has some social interaction. It's a shame that he really doesn't get much. And then the doorbell rings, and Tracer and Emily are there. He swoops him up in his arms, his big old monkey arms. And then the last panel is I can finally spend the holidays with my family again, which is beautiful, and I have a good feeling about next year. So the question I have is, if it's next year's and next holidays, is there going to be a huge reunion of Overwatch? Is that where the game lore is going? Or does it mean next year, like in a couple weeks, when it's 2017 and the madness that has been 2016 is over? I'm thinking it's probably they're hinting at next year's in January, when the calendar year turns over. I think that's the reference to it. There could be another huge holiday event next year, but also, side note, you don't see Tracer wearing the timepiece. So again, maybe this is one of the places that she can return to because she's with her family, and she doesn't have to worry about shifting out of there. Alright, thanks for watching this video. This has been a breakdown of the Reflections comic that Blizzard just released for the game Overwatch. I hope you have enjoyed this video. I'm going to break down each comic as they come out. This is kind of a new series that I'm doing. Please feel free to follow me on Twitter and on Twitch. Those links are below in the comment section. And I will also be streaming today. So if you happen to watch this video and you say, hey, this guy isn't that bad, I wouldn't mind having a conversation with him, maybe talking about some of these points, I am going to be streaming this afternoon. Follow me on Twitch, and you can watch my stream. Hit me up in the comment section. It's usually pretty quiet around those parts, so I would definitely love to get a conversation going about some theories. Leave your comments below. Hit me up on Twitter, and I will respond as quick as I can. Alright, guys, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you enjoyed the comic, and I hope to see you in my stream.